Whether you are into this genre or not, it's always interesting to see the hype and the memes about the new overpowered Isekai anime protagonists. Naturally, 2022 brought with it its own set of such protagonists, and in this video, we'll be talking about their respective anime. Basically, the top 10 best Isekai anime with overpowered MC of 2022. This list is going to get quite quirky very quickly, guys, so stick with me till the end. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Done? Let's begin. Number 10. My Isekai Life. I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. The story follows a corporate worker named Yuuji Sano. His work life is his only life. He's practically a slave to the corporate system, just wasting away at his desk all day, every day, without any hope or anticipation of the future whatsoever. A pitiful reality that eventually leads to his death. Though of course, since this is an isekai anime, he then gets to be reincarnated in the fantasy world. Although his skill set and rank seem a tad bit weak at first glance, he is the overwhelming benefit of growth. However, even after becoming a lot stronger than those around him, he chooses to keep his true strength a secret. He still has some trauma from his previous life, and as is the case with any toxic corporate environment, the last thing he wants is to needlessly stand out. Naturally, he won't be able to stay that way since an unprecedented threat will soon show itself and threaten to destroy this very world. Number 9. In the Land of Leadale. Few things hurt more than seeing a young individual gradually lose their life on a hospital bed. Such was the case with a young and sweet girl named Keina Kagami, who was bedridden and ultimately died on the hospital bed. It's Leadale, the world of the virtual reality game she always used to play, and she is apparently in the body of a pretty renowned character. However, more than a few things are different, and as she soon finds out, it's because she is currently 200 years into the future of the Leadale she previously used to play in. Many things have changed, but for an overpowered girl with a healthy body, it was time to set out on a new journey. Magic skill, Leadale. Number 8. Black Summoner. Memories make your current identity, but some people would rather exchange them for overpowered abilities and a prestigious S rank, not to mention the chance to thrive in a fantasy world. Such is the case with a young boy named Kelvin. He decides to exchange his memories in order to be more overpowered in his next life. Plus, when the goddess who was overseeing his rebirth into another world asks him if he'd like a companion, the man straight up asks the cutie to be the one. Although he'll also lose this memory, Kelvin already knows that whenever he sees her in the next world, he'll immediately fall for her once again. A simple overpowered guy indeed. Number 7. Life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. Imagine you and your handsome best friend are both transported into a fantasy world, but while your best friend is still the same, you end up getting transformed into an irresistible blonde beauty with a magically overpowered charm that can captivate and tame just about anyone. Yeah, things can go south really fast. Before this sudden twist of fate, the two of them were middle-aged salarymen. The one who got turned into a girl used to be a boring and unspectacular dude, with nothing extraordinary about him whatsoever. While the other was not only handsome, but he also had charisma and other traits that basically made him a chick magnet. And now that they are in this fantasy world, the only way to get things back to how they were is by defeating the Demon King. So what do you think will happen first?
どうしてそんなの決まってるだろ。褒められるためだが では行きますよ。
Number 6. Skeleton Knight in Another World. Over the years, Overlord has made a name for itself as one of the most popular fantasy anime of all time. Its protagonist is an undead skeleton mage named Momogna. But for the longest time, Momogna seemed to be the only skeleton protagonist around. Well, now another fellow has shown up. Here we have a man who was so deeply concentrating on a certain game that when he wakes up after falling asleep, he's literally an in-game character. The same one as the skeleton avatar he chose while playing the game. Naturally, when you are built like a skeleton, you attract a ton of eyes, but he is ready to go and explore this vast world, meet new people, and have exciting adventures. Number 5. Reincarnated as a sword. It's rare for isekai anime protagonists to be reincarnated as skeletons, slimes, or even a little girl. But now we have a main character who is reincarnated as a sword, an actual inanimate object. But this doesn't stop him from being the main character, so what's your excuse? Our guy used to be a random Japanese person until one day he suddenly popped up as a sword right in the middle of a fantastical forest. He really doesn't have much recollection of how he got here, but he's here to stay. Soon enough, a cute and caring cat girl happens to find him, and the two of them team up to take this world by storm. Number 4. Trapped in a dating sim. The world of otome games is tough for mobs. Imagine the government gets taken over by women and the first thing they make you do is spend sleepless nights on a dating simulator game. A healthy Japanese boy wasn't so thrilled. However, he continues with the grind and eventually manages to clear the game. But at what cost? Well, his sleep and health are mercilessly sacrificed. This was not good, since the next moment he is on the stairs, he falls down and then wakes up in the world of a dating simulator game he just cleared. To make things more complicated, he's a mere commoner. However, our boy already has all the knowledge he needs to succeed and excel in this world. He's overpowered when it comes to dealing with these girls, and he's ready to show us all how to do it. Number 3. Parallel World Pharmacy. After losing his dear sister to a tumor, a young boy decided to never give up on finding a medical solution. He worked and he worked and he worked some more, until finally he became one of the top medical researchers in the world. However, no man can exert this level of effort and not face the consequences, and eventually he dies of overwork. But of course he then gets incarnated as a young boy in a medieval fantasy world. Quite conveniently, he's now the son of a family of doctors, and is also the reincarnation of the medicine god. Using his hands, he can create and erase any element of the periodic table, and then thanks to his medical knowledge, he's able to create cures that are practically unheard of in the history of this world. Yep, he's an overpowered nerd. Number 2. Isekai Oji-san. You know, it's a good day when your uncle, who has been in a coma for the past 17 years, finally wakes up, but it's an even better day when he said, "Uncle seems to have magical powers." And so the two of you start a YouTube channel together. Isekai Oji-san is an unusual yet surprisingly entertaining anime about a man who spent 17 years of his life in a fantasy world while his body was in a coma. He acquired magical abilities during that time and had all sorts of numerous adventures. The uncle shares his stories while learning more about modern-day technologies and how to deal with internet trolls. As I said, it's surprisingly entertaining and a must-watch if you are bored of your usual isekai anime.
それだよえそんなクソ反論毎回してたらファンの人離れてくに決まってるでしょ
Number 1. The Eminence in Shadow. Guys, who do you think has the most power? Is it the passionate hero trying to save the world, an anti-hero who makes himself look like a villain for the sake of the greater good, or the demon lord who just can't get enough of trying to screw things over? Or maybe the genius mastermind who controls the world from behind the scenes without ever revealing a trace of his existence? I don't know about you, but for our protagonist, becoming a genius mastermind who has everything in the palm of his hand is the way to go. Unfortunately, he died without ever getting the chance to realize his dream. But when he gets reincarnated in a fantasy world, he's more than ready to turn this world into his very own puppet show. It isn't as serious as you may think, but it makes sure to hit the right spots when it comes to entertainment. 10 out of 10, a must-watch. So there you have it, folks. These are my picks for the top 10 best isekai anime with Overpowered MC of 2022. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on these anime. Have you watched them, or are you planning on watching them? Go wild in the comments section, and don't forget to bump that like and subscribe button, guys. It's always appreciated. Well then, I'll see you guys in my next video.